All right, we're going to begin Orange County IAs. And I need for everybody to announce their presence, starting with the state.
Trustee Tyner for the state of Florida.
David Hill for Mr. Cherie.
And then go ahead for the record.
Dominic Cunningham for the Office of the Public Defender.
Great. All right, and just confirm, Petey, that the defendants have been told or watched a video that advised them the purpose of the IA hearing. Is that correct? Have all the defendants back there before we begin IAs, have they been advised in person or watched a video about what's going to happen at IAs and what their rights are?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, if you have any information that I need to know before I set bond, you've got to volunteer it before we finish with the defendant, not afterwards, okay? Anything that you think I need to consider? Okay, Mr. Hill, good morning.
Morning, Judge.
This would be Samuel Chari, Charrri.
Yes, Your Honor. Samuel Cherie.
Cherie, well, see, not even close, was I?
It's okay. Judge, he qualifies for PTR, I believe. It's a domestic violence case involving his mom. His parents are here. That's his mom, Beth Cherie, in the witness booth. And we're asking for him to be allowed to return home. He resides with them with the condition that he have no hostile or violent contact with his parents. And I explained that in detail to Mr. Cherie before we started.
Okay.
State has no objection.
Okay. Now, so Miss Bethany Cherie, did you show your ID to the state? Okay, and that is her. Okay, go ahead and state your name.
Beth Chari.
All right. So, Ms. Cherie, and Sam, I'm talking to you as well. So I found probable cause for the charge. You've heard what Mr. Hill is recommending. The state's not objecting, but I really need to speak to you, Ms. Cherie, because, you know, you're the mom. And you need to understand there's like a couple things I can do. I can put no contact whatsoever with you. Move out, return one time with law enforcement to get your items. Or I can do the no hostile or violent contact with victim. And that means that he can return home and I can't protect you, okay? Now, if for any reason he becomes hostile or violent with you, immediately protect yourself and any young ones in the house. Call the police, and they will no doubt violate him, and he'll be back here. Do you feel comfortable with that?
I do.
Okay. So Samuel, let me ask you, you know, your mom loves you very much because she wants you to come back home, okay? Says a lot about your family. So my question is, do you think you can return home and avoid any type of hostility or violence while you're there?
Yes.
Okay, so if mom says, Sam, take the garbage out, your response is?
Of course, yes, I'll do that right now.
No, that is not your response.
Yes.
One more time.
Yes,
She says, take the garbage out, what do you say?
yes, I'll do that right now.
No?
Yes.
I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? And if he throws the garbage can, exit the premises, whatever you have to do to protect yourself, and call us, and we'll come pick him up, and he'll be back here.
Okay.
All right? So are we understanding
Yes, sir.
what's required of you if we go forward on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we'll set the bond as indicated. Again, no hostile or violent contact with the victim. We're going to put in there also, obviously, don't consume any alcohol or non-prescribed medication. Don't possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any in the home, get them out. Yeah, okay. All right, you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, yeah,
Yes,
was that
PT.
pretrial release?
Yeah, that's what they
That's fine.
recommended and they agreed to.
Qualified. Yeah.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. I've done what I've done. Paperwork will occur. Sometime today, they will release him. When? I've seen them release people at 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't think that'll happen here, but just, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen immediately. All right? Okay. Good luck.
Thank you for calling my case, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Have a good day. And happy
All right, Deanna Pooley?
Yes.
All right, and you are?
Jason Pooley.
Okay. And you're the husband, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you show your ID to Miss Tyner? Okay, great. Okay, are you Deanna Pooley?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so my name's Judge John Jordan. You've been charged with the battery as an incident of domestic violence. I found probable cause for the charge. Did she complete paperwork for the PD? Huh? Yes?
She qualifies for PTR.
Okay, so let me ask you, Mr. Pooley, are you here to ask the court not to have your wife return home, or do you want her to be able to come home?
I would love to have her home.
Okay. I don't know if you heard me, Ms. Pooley, when I was going over with the last person, but you're eligible for pretrial release, so there will be no monetary bond. But if I release you home, it is, again, no hostile or violent contact with the victim.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if your husband says, I want to watch the football game, and you say, no, I want to watch the best Hallmark movie that just came out, your response would be,
Watch football.
who's playing? I can't wait. That would be your response. I say that facetiously, but I'm just saying, you know, fights occur over, let me see your phone, I want the clicker, you know, things can blow up. So do you feel comfortable, Mr. Pooley, if I allow her to come back in?
Yes, sir.
And you feel that you will protect yourself if she does become violent or hostile?
Yes, sir.
And you'll call us so we can pick her up if she does?
Yes, sir.
And ma'am, you feel you can live in a peaceful environment,
Yes, Your Honor.
as much as a peaceful environment as being a married couple, in a non-violent way, let's put it that way. You can do that?
Yes.
Okay, just step away if it gets bad, you know, walk outside, take a walk or something like that. You're standing up again.
Oh, we're good. Sorry.
Okay.
Just been sitting down for a long time.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so we'll do the pretrial release
Thank
with that no hostile or violent contact. And again, they're going to release her sometime today. Don't know when. I'm not in charge of paperwork.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Listen, I hope y'all work it out. These things happen.
Thank you for your time, Your
So
Honor.
hope I never see you again.
I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
That's the first one. All right, what did you want to do, Spanish next? All right, we're going to do Spanish next. And they're on the top here. All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter, and I have been previously sworn.
All right, Mr. Barreras, good to have you back. We're going to get going. Are you Miss Yelin Gavaza Zapata? All right.
Correct.
You're here on the following charges. I wrote it down here, this first one. Yes. It's a weird charge, but it's basically own, rent a structure or vehicle as part of a trafficking drugs, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and trafficking in fentanyl 4 grams or more.
Soy la dueña, pero nada de eso es mío.
Clarification, Your Honor, the interpreter was not able to understand the defendant.
La casa está a mi nombre, pero nada de eso es mío.
Oh,
Well, the house is in my name, but
yeah,
none
yeah,
of that
no,
belongs
I
to
don't want
me.
you to, don't talk about the case. The state's taking notes, all right? So I understand what you're saying, but I reviewed the paperwork. This is just probable cause at this point.
Perfecto.
Perfect.
But I did find probable cause for all three charges. And I'm going to appoint the public defender. And I'm going to keep the bond as said. 2,500, 15,000, and 100,000. I do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, the interpreter can respectfully request a case number if you have one.
23 CF 273.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
The next case number is 23 CF 266.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Are you Omar Lugo Villalobos?
Es correcto.
That's correct.
All right, you've been charged with trafficking in fentanyl, 28 grams or more, and resisting officer without violence. I have reviewed the paperwork, and I found probable cause for the charges. The bond will be $1 million on count one and $150 on count two,
Your Honor, may I be heard on bond?
and I'm appointing the PD. Sure.
Your Honor, we'd ask for the $1 million bond to be lowered to a reasonable bond. $1 million is essentially no bond.
State?
The state has no objection to the bond as set. He did have 107 grams of fentanyl on him. State's content with bond as is.
Okay. No, I'm going to leave it at that. You can go to the judge. But that was the good news.
Your Honor, may I be heard on the case he's out on?
The bad news that we're about to talk about is that you're out on bond in 2022 CF 15086 on possession of fentanyl. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Your Honor, this incident occurred on August of 2022. A warrant wasn't issued until December 31st, and at this time, no charges have been formally charged. So we'd ask the court to take no action on that case.
So state, what is the status on that other one? 2022 15086.
There was a KPS issued for him on December 7th. He was picked up on the 31st, and our office is currently doing the intake process on this out on bond for possession of fentanyl. And Your Honor, if I may correct the state, it wasn't a KPS for failure to appear. It was an arrest warrant because the incident occurred, and then they didn't arrest him. Then they issued a warrant 4 months later.
Okay, I'm still going to revoke his bond. He can appoint the PD in that division. He can go to the judge to get the bond back. I did.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headset.
Okay, are you Alberto Velez Concepcion?
Yes.
All right, you've been charged with possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. Possession, I'm sorry.
The
No, we-
state has no objection to an ROR for the 0.4 grams of marijuana before you set up
Got
on
it.
that.
All right, gotcha. And then count two is possession of a concealed weapon, firearm by a convicted felon. And count three, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. I reviewed the paperwork and found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. On count one, the bond will be an ROR. There'll be no monetary. Counts two and three, I'm going to stay the bonds at 5,000 on each count. In addition, do not possess or own any weapon, firearm, or ammunition. Do you understand?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, the interpreter could request a case number for this last defendant, please, if you have one.
275.
My apologies, Madam Clerk, you were cutting out. If you could kindly repeat that.
275.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next two are 2023 CF 271 and 2020 CT 4734. All right, are you
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shaquille Carino Masonette?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, so I've got two matters to deal with you.
And Your Honor, the defense would like to be heard on 2020 CF 4734.
Okay, that is the violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, we'd ask for an ROR on this because there's no probable cause. On July 21st of 2022, the probation was revoked and terminated, and that paperwork has been provided to me from PTR. It is in the clerk site, and if you do not have it, I do have it for Your Honor. May I approach?
I believe you. Any
No
reason?
objection from this-
Okay, so we'll ROR you on that. Now let's go back to the other charge, which is possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more. I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause for all three charges. Again, we've appointed the PD for you. I'm going to stay the bonds at 1,000, 15,000, and 100,000. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Sí.
All right.
Yes.
You get that ROR on that one? All right, this is 2023 CF 270.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you Jose Quinones Echeverria?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Got a couple matters for you here as well. You're charged with carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cocaine with a weapon, and possession of tetrahydrocannabinols. How do you say that?
Cannabinols.
Cannabinols, all right.
THC.
Oh, I wanted to say the whole thing, but I agree. And then possession of drug paraphernalia. And I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. She's standing again.
Yes. He can be ROR'd on the THC charge if the court will allow.
So on count three, the possession of THC will give you an ROR. I'm going to stay the bonds on the others. Count one was 150, count two was 15,000, count three will be ROR, and count four will be $100. Do not consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Next, in 2022 CF 4569. It's alleged that you violated your probation. So we will find probable cause. It'll be set at a no bond. You just need to go back to the original judge to get a bond on that. But there's one more thing I got to deal with. And this is the, you're out on bond on a possession of fentanyl with an intent to possess fentanyl. And it's in 2022 CF 96. Is that 014?
94.
94?
694.
694, 694. All right? In light of the new charges, I'm going to revoke that bond, and you could go back to the judge in that division to get a bond in First Point PD in all the cases. Do you understand?
Hey.
Yes.
All right. Are we done with interpreter cases? Spanish? Are we done with Spanish?
Can we make an announcement to the gallery to make sure none of the victims need Spanish speakers?
You beat me to the punch, Counselor.
Okay, listen, when we get up to your cases, when you hear the name of the person you're here for, do any of you need an interpreter?
¿Hay alguna persona en el público que necesite los servicios del intérprete? Por favor, alza la mano en este momento.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Do you need a Creole interpreter? All right, well, we'll deal with that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, we're gonna let you go, Mr. Barrios. We
Thank you, Your Honor.
appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
All right. Well, we're not up to it yet, are we?
Yes.
Is this one the Creole? Oh, you're way on it, aren't you? Are you Mosca Marcelin? Come on up. And you're Wisely on garden?
Oui.
All right. How's my French?
Yes.
Okay?
It's your girl.
Eh.
Asian girl.
We have Creole guards on our floor, so I'm learning French.
Je ne parle français.
Sí. Yeah, I usted español 4 años en la escuela. Yo hablo un poquito español. But I'm learning a little French. I can say hello, good morning, how are you doing? Do you speak more French?
Un peu.
We had a prosecutor who spoke perfect French. I can't remember her name.
Not me.
Yeah, but we had one. It was impressive. I think she lived in Paris for a couple of years. Yeah, nice life. I guess you can't remote work in Paris here for this
No.
job.
I think the most I can do is order food.
Oh, that's me in my Spanish. Cafecito, café con leche, guayaba y queso, medianoche. I can do all the food groups in Spanish. But I grew up So we'll come back to you, ma'am. Yeah. Those are all Creole. We up to Kenneth Burgos. All right, is anybody here for Kenneth Burgos? Are you Kenneth Burgos?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You're charged with battery as an incident of domestic violence. I've reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause. Now, Tanya Prentice is not here, so, and I haven't heard anything from the state. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you sign, well, read first this no contact. And this no contact order was actually drafted when I was here back in 2008, okay? And what it means is it clarifies no contact, direct or indirect. So if you like send a text message or something, that's a violation. If you have someone send her a message, it's a violation. So you have to be very, very careful. If you walk in to the Orlando Arena and you've got front row seats that someone gave you and you saw her there, you have to leave and give up those seats. That's how particular this is, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I
All
understand.
right, so as far as a monetary bond,
He does qualify for PTR.
He does not. It was updated.
Oh,
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
So we're gonna put it at $500 plus all the standard conditions, the no contact, direct or indirect with the victim. Maintain separate residence. You could return one time with law enforcement. Get your personal belongings. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Richard Tolbert. Okay, you're Richard Tolbert?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tolbert, you're charged with essentially a petty theft of a merchant with 2 prior convictions. I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause for the charges. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Now, no return to the 7-Eleven in question, you understand?
Yes,
Do not go back there. Bond-wise,
I want a federal attorney. I got evidence of murder. That's the reason why I did that. And
Okay.
terrorism.
all right, well, you can work that out. We'll reduce the bond to $500 plus those no return to 7-Eleven. All right, we got the Creole. We're gonna cue them back up. So. Hello? No? What's her? You got those paperwork? All right, this is Judge Jordan. Who's this?
This is Charlene, the interpreter from Language Line.
Can you speak a little louder?
This is Charlene, the interpreter from Language Line.
All right, we're going to swear you in. You've
I
been
have
sworn
been
in?
sworn in.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, and we have Mr. Ingron first, and we also have the victim here. So here we go. Are you Wisely Ongren?
Oui.
Well, she's got to interpret it for you. Madam?
Moi, c'est Charlene, moi, c'est interprète. Ma peux interpréter pour vous-même avec le représentant là.
Okay.
Merci.
Okay, and
Okay,
sir,
thank you.
all right, sir, you're charged with battery as an incident of dating violence.
Et monsieur, yo chargé ou avec bat, et ça c'est yon violence.
All right, with us appears to be Miss Marcelin, I'm sorry, Miss Masca Marcelin.
Yes.
Avec nous, li paraît nou gen Miss Maka Maslin.
Is that you?
Yes.
Okay,
Monsieur,
well,
ça c'est ou même?
if we're gonna do interpreter, you gotta do it in Creole. So it's consistent, because we're gonna use the interpreter, so. Is that a we?
Si.
All right. Can you? Yes, can you show your ID to Madam Prosecutor?
Est-ce que capable montrer et carte d'identité ou avec madame persécuteur?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so again, I found probable cause for the charges and appointed the public defender.
Et d'accord, moi jouer une cause qui probable et pour charge yo, m'a pas prêté yon défense publique.
Ms. Marcelin, are you here asking the court for further protections? Or are you asking that he be allowed to return home? Or to be around you?
Madame Maslin, est-ce que ou la wa mandé tribunal là pour yo ba ou plus protection ou bien est-ce que ou wa mandé que li capable retourner à l'entour?
M'a demandé pour yo ban moins plus m'a demandé pour yo ban moins plus sécurité.
I'm asking for them to give me more security.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, ma'am. What'd you say?
I'm asking to get more security.
I didn't hear her.
More security, I believe.
Okay, so you're asking to have no contact with him?
Est-ce que wa mandé pour pas gen aucun contact avec lui?
Non, pas besoin de contact ensemble avec lui, seulement li gon cob pour moi, juste besoin pour le bon cob moi. Pas besoin de parler avec, pas besoin de contact avec encore.
No, I don't need any contact with him, only that he has a money for me. I want him to give me my money, and then after that, I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want any contact from him.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Angrena, is he eligible for any type of release?
No, Your Honor.
Can the interpreter ask the victim if these two live together?
So you wake up a little, ask the victim, she agreed.
Do you live with Mr. Engrand?
Est-ce que ou habite avec Monsieur Ingren?
Nous habité ensemble avec le même côté, dans le même caille nous te. Kounya là, di gagne ni gon l'autre fille. Chaque jour fille a vinn pick up li devant porte la caille, moi chaque soir elle dormi ensemble avec fille hein. M'a parlé pour ça. Hier soir, li vini, chaque li vini seulement ben fille a vinn prendre. M'a parlé ensemble avec lui. Li met ton téléphone dans charge. Ma li téléphone n'a sonné fille a relé, il prend téléphone nan. Qu'on y a m'chita la machine moi.
I don't need,
Madame chita
I
la
just need to know if you
machine.
live with him.
Moi pas besoin tout ça, moi seulement besoin qu'on est sous habité avec lui.
Non, m'habite même côté ensemble avec elle. Hier soir, elle t'a beauté pour sortir la caille moi. Delphine Bomkoa.
No, I leave the same place with him. Last night, he was packing his stuff to move out of my house after he hit me.
Okay. Your Honor, the victim is also listed as a co-defendant, and at the end of the affidavit, it's indicated that charges were to be filed against her. I'm not sure if that's happened. The state's asking for no contact, separate residences.
Okay. So I'm going to set the bond as follows. $500. Go ahead. $500 plus no contact, direct or indirect, with the victim.
Et moi, pour le mettre caution comme suivi, $500 plus pas gain aucun contact, qui c'est direct ou bien indirect avec victime là.
You're to maintain a separate residence.
Ou a besoin rester dans caille séparé.
You may return one time with law enforcement to get your belongings.
Ou capable retourner seulement une seule fois avec police pour aller chercher affaire.
Do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Ou pas supposé gagner aucune arme, aucun fusil capturé ou bien balle.
And do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Et puis ou prend ou puis consommer aucun alcool ou bien drogue illégale.
Do you understand, sir?
Oui.
Est-ce que vous comprenez, monsieur?
Oui, moi comprends.
Yes.
All right, Ms.
Yes, I
Marcelin,
understand.
you understand?
Madame Maslin, est-ce que vous comprenez?
Yes.
All right, anything else to add?
Yes. Est-ce que vous avez aucun autre bagay, papa?
Yeah.
Est-ce que vous avez aucun autre bagay pour ajouter?
Oui, ça m'a pas ajouté que monsieur son monde qui toujours tente moun mal. Et ça m'a pas ajouté pour me gagner sécurité, pour ne pas tenter mal, pour pas venir faire mal là, carrément. Parce qu'elle toujours gagne idée mal pour faire moun mal dans la tête.
What I would like to add, he's the type of guy who's always threatening people to do something bad to them. So I would like to have more security so he doesn't come and then threaten me to do anything bad to me or come and do anything bad to me at my house.
I hear what you're saying, but what you're gonna have to do is, if you don't think he's gonna comply with my orders, to decide what's best for your security.
Yes.
Moi comprends ça ou dit mais est-ce que ou même ça ou pas quoi que li pour aller conformer avec l'ordre moi bail pour ça qui plus bon pour sécurité ou là?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
D'accord, merci.
Ms. Modeline Persona.
Madame Maudline Persona.
All right, I don't see anybody here. Ms. Persona, you're charged with battery as an incident of domestic violence.
Madame Persona yo chargé ou avec batterie et ça c'est un acte violence.
Hold on. You don't- This is just a probable cause hearing. You need to let your attorney talk for you because the state's recording everything and would use it against you later.
Ça c'est un jugement et donc yon temps délié ou besoin quitter avocat la parler pour vous parce que état y a enregistré tout bagay et puis plus devant yon doit utiliser li pour yon persécuter ou.
Is she eligible for pretrial
No,
release? What are you, missing a phone number or something?
Her legal status in the U.S.
Okay, got it. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Again, point at the PD for you, finding probable cause. I'm gonna set the bond at $250.
Et mais ça moi pour le faire, moi joine que gain cause qui probable, m'a mettre caution avec $2,000.
You're not to have any contact with the victim.
Ou pas supposé qu'il y ait aucun contact avec victime non.
You're gonna have to maintain a separate residence.
Ou a besoin rester non cas séparé.
So, as your attorney will tell you, if he's not there anymore, you could move back.
Et comme avocat ou capable dire si li pas là encore ou capable retourner à vivre là.
But if he's there, you've got to live somewhere else for now.
Mais si li là ou a besoin aller dans l'autre côté pour qu'on y a là.
You can return one time with law enforcement to get your belongings.
Ou capable retourner une seule fois avec tant que police pour aller chercher affaire par ou.
Do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Puis vous consommez aucun alcool ou bien aucune drogue illégale.
Do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Puis vous n'avez aucune arme et aucun fusil, aucune balle dans possession.
Now, you've got kids in common.
Qu'on y a nous gen ti moun entre nous-mêmes qui
You are
nous-mêmes.
permitted to contact the victim through a third party when it comes to the kids.
Aucune permission pour contacter victime nan à travers une troisième personne quand il agit pour ti moun yo.
You understand, Ms. Persona?
Vous comprenez, Madame Persona? Yes.
All right. Good luck.
D'accord, bonne chance.
Et pour moi-même,
What about for me?
That was you.
Ça, c'était vous-même.
non, pour moi-même, oui, moi accepté pour moi rester dans moi et lui-même, tout lui-même.
Well, yes, I accept for me to stay in my limit, but what about him? For him?
Well, not dealing with that right this second.
Et pour qu'on y a, nous pas régler ça dans seconde ça. Okay.
All right, Ms. LaFleur.
D'accord, Madame Lafleur.
Okay, we'll reset him.
Your Honor, if he's appointed to my office, we would waive his appearance.
We'll appoint him. The PD for Wilkerson LaFleur.
Yes, sir.
And I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause on the exposure. Has he had a mental health review yet?
I'm not sure if PTR can.
Yes,
Huh?
he has.
He has? Okay. So let's talk about bond.
Your Honor, does he qualify for PTR? I thought I saw that. Yes, PTR is saying he
He
qualifies.
says PTR? Well, if he qualifies, PTR then. All right? All right. Madam, thank you very much. That completes the Creole interpreter.
Thank you for using our services. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Are you Elwood Vernellis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Vernellis, they brought you back because this is a add-on to some previous one. And it's alleged that you, in light of those charges, you previously saw the IA judge on, you were on probation, and this is what they would call an on-view violation of probation. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
I should have a attorney.
Oh, do you have a private attorney? Okay, so you wanted to contact the private attorney about that case. And so we're going to leave it at a no bond status. You need to get your private attorney to schedule a hearing in this case. So on the probation case, all right?
There's nothing new or anything.
No, not right now, because it's, you know, if you go on probation, it's part of the deal. If you agree to stay out of trouble and allegedly you violated, it's an allegation. But you'll need to go to your attorney to get you a bond hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. John Fowler.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Fowler, you're charged with disorderly conduct, reviewed the paperwork, found probable cause for the charges. ETR?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to keep the bond at $250.
Your Honor,
Yes.
since this is a county ordinance, does the court have an offer?
State does not have an offer because Mr. Fowler was just found guilty for the same charge on December 30th of this year.
Your Honor, does the court have an offer?
No,
Thank you, Your Honor.
take it up with if he's still here.
What's the bond,
All
Your
right.
Honor?
It means you have to bond out.
$250. All right, so if the person you're here for, his name's called, come on up to the door and have some ID with you.
So they'll give your attorney, they'll reach out to you.
Dennis Alexander. Huh? All right. Are you Marquita Alexander?
Yes.
Can you show your ID to Ms. Tyner?
Yes, Your Honor, that's her.
All right, are you Dennis Alexander?
Sir.
All right, Mr. Alexander, you're charged 2 counts, batteries and incident of domestic violence, and essentially hindering the victim from communicating with law enforcement. I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause for both charges. Let me ask Miss, and I wrote it down, and now I have it here, Marquita Alexander. Are you here to discuss with the court any bond conditions?
Yes.
All right, what are you asking the court to do? So I can either keep it at a no contact, he's out of the house, he's not to have any contact, or I can do what we call as a no hostile or violent contact, which would allow him to be around you, but of course I can't protect you if I do that. So you're not asking for that, correct? You want to keep it at a no contact for right now?
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all may be able to work this out later on, but for now, we do that. So what I'm gonna do is he eligible for any type of pretrial release?
I'm not at the moment, Your Honor, but you can do bond or PTR, because we never got to speak.
Okay, they can screen you and they can see. So on count 2, the battery, I'm gonna do $500. And on count 1, it'll be $150. In addition, you're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim. You are to maintain separate residences. You may return one time with a law enforcement officer to get your personal belongings. You're not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. And be careful, Mr. Alexander, the no contact order was written by my partner when I was out here back in '08. And it's very specific about what contact, which is direct or indirect. So if you text her, that's a violation. If you ask someone to text her, that's a violation. So if in doubt, ask your attorney before you do anything, okay? So just be very careful, you want to avoid that. If you see her in the grocery store, leave. Don't talk to her, don't say anything. Just for now, do that, and then later on, we'll see what happens. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Yes, I do. We have children together.
I can't hear you.
I say, yes, I do. We have children together, so what are we supposed to do pertaining to that? Because I don't want him to.
Well, there's no domestic case going on in that regard.
Okay.
Go ahead, say.
One of the children is actually, well, the children are actually listed, I don't know what's wrong with that microphone, I'm gonna have to.
There's India.
Yes, Your Honor, they're listed as witnesses. Can we just ask that if there's a DCF plan put in place, that he be required to, obey with any requests of DCF?
And Your Honor, can I inquire on if she's asking how they communicate in regards to the children?
What are you asking?
Yes, just where that I don't have to communicate with.
Can you just take the mask off? You're in a room by yourself.
Thank you. Yes, I want it to where I don't have to communicate with him. Where
Right.
there could be at least a third party, because I don't want no parts.
So here's what we have. It's called supervised visitation, but it's typically part of either a domestic violence injunction or a divorce that goes south.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So we don't order that from here. Now, DCF, were they contacted?
No.
Okay, so they don't know about it either. So go ahead.
If I may, can we do no contact except through a third party for childcare reasons?
You good with that?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have a third party in mind? Mama, grandma?
Yeah, maybe their grandmother.
Is it your mom or his
No,
mom?
it's his mother.
Okay, you want to do that, sir? You want to go through your mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can use your mom to facilitate visitation with your children. Now, again, this is not a court order type thing, it's just allowing him to so you're gonna have to make sure you want to do that. And then if y'all want to change that, talk to his mom about changing it to someone else.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that arrangement?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we have no hostile contact with any of the witnesses, since the children are listed as witnesses?
Yeah, let's do that as well. So the same thing, because the kids are witnesses, we don't want anything, there's no reason to talk about this case with them, so no hostile contact with them as well. Can you do that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, well, you've got your bond, you've got your conditions, so you can have visitation with your children. Again, don't do direct to her, do it through the mom, your mom, okay? Yeah, we said the bond or PTR if he qualifies. He just hasn't been worked up.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
And you have what? You have the 250? Yes, there you go. Okay. All right, do we have Mr., is it, I don't know, how do you pronounce it?
Buchanan.
Buchanan, all right. Kalisha Buchanan,
Yes, sir.
all right. And are you Serenity Brown?
No, I'm Danielle Buchanan, mother.
Oh, okay.
Serenity Brown refused to come.
I'm sorry?
His sister refused to come.
And so your name is?
Danielle Buchanan, mother.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so, Mr. Buchanan, you're charged with burglary of a dwelling, assault as an incident of domestic violence, and criminal mischief less than $200. Now, I reviewed the paperwork and found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. So, Ms. Danielle Brown, what is it that you're asking the court to do? Or Buchanan, sorry.
My son is a very calm person. What I did not know that, like, everybody has access to the house, all my kids. So no one told me that they have lost keys to the house. So all the kids is using the access sliding door to get in and out instead of just telling me.
So let me stop you right there, because now we're getting into something that goes to his case, and I, you know, because I'd read the affidavit, and I really don't want
He
to.
burglarized my house, so that's why I'm not understanding.
Yeah,
He
so
haven't.
I don't want to get into that based on what the police officers had written. The problem is Serenity's not here, and she's a victim in this. So I can't let him back in the home at this point. You'll have to go to the judge assigned to this case to change
He
that.
doesn't live in the home, he's visiting.
Yeah, so which makes it better for him. He doesn't have to go through all the penumbras of getting his stuff out and everything else. All right, so is he eligible for any type of pretrial? No, he is not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm setting a bond here. Now, on the burglary of the dwelling, I understand where you were going with what you're saying. I also understand what the police officer said. So I'm gonna set the bond there at $1,000. And then I'm going to, on the assault, it's going to be $150. And on the criminal mischief, it'll be $100.
An assault on who? 'Cause
Sister,
he didn't have-
Serenity.
No, he didn't contact her. I was in the middle of things.
Yeah.
He was leaving the house.
Well, hold on. I don't want you to go with the facts because the state attorney's taking notes. I'm just telling you, I'm going by what the police officer said. It's just probable cause.
Okay.
The state hasn't even charged him yet. How about that? They may never file charges against him. I'm just finding probable cause and setting bond. All right? So look, 1,000, 150, 100, and you're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim.
So how much is that?
Obviously, maintain separate residence, which you were doing anyway.
10%.
Do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. So he's gonna have to stay away from Serenity.
Yeah, I have no problem with him.
She's
It's-
at the
it's
house,
Him
and
and his sister got into it.
Yeah.
I just kind of tried to defuse the situation.
I hear
There
you.
was no contact at all.
Look, we all appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, so hopefully this all works out. But at least we've got him a bond to get him out, all right? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Our office will be in contact. I have no idea why that keeps happening.
I don't know.
Okay, wait.
Let me turn this down a little. All right, Joseph Nguyen. All right, so I have some warrants here that I need to go over with you. Okay, Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, sir.
And the judge had found probable cause on the following counts, all right? So you have aggravated assault with a firearm as an incident of domestic violence. Aggravated assault with a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm. So 3 counts there. Aggravated stalking after a court prohibition in violation of pretrial condition on domestic violence case. And conditions of release included no contact with victim Ashley Stevenson, no return to Dancers Royale, and do not possess weapons or firearms. And so at this point, I'm going to appoint the public defender, and let's talk bond. State? It's currently set at a no bond status.
Yes, Your Honor. Based off of the violations of previous release, I'd ask that he be held on no bond on the charges that he
So
can't.
we got that California issue, right?
Yes.
Don't they have them out? Oh, no, you don't want to say anything. You can say it to your attorney, she can say it, but you don't want to say it on the record. And it included, you know, the ag assault, domestic violence, with a firearm. A lot of charges there. Now, is the jail holding him on these California ones and have contacted them?
No, Your Honor.
Why is that?
There is no basis of holding him.
Okay, I just asking.
Your Honor, may I be heard as to bond?
Sure.
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond on these charges, so we'd ask for a reasonable bond to be set.
All right, State.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, I thought these were all out of, the way my paperwork says, I thought these were all out of Orange County. I didn't realize there was the California.
No, it's Judge Arendis here in, or down in Osceola signed this.
Okay.
And again, part of the problem is we don't get all the paperwork that went along with their probable cause finding on the warrant. So you could be absolutely right, but I have no idea. I just know that she found probable cause on those charges. Does pretrial, anyone else have any further information on that, about these charges?
Your Honor, what information are you trying to?
Well, he got an arrest warrant was issued by the judge down in Osceola on these charges. And it's alleged it occurred on October 2nd, 2022 in Orange County.
Yes, Your Honor, there was an affidavit to issue a warrant based off of an incident that happened, but these are brand new charges that are being filed, so, or that pending charges, so he is entitled to a bond.
What else do we know about him?
Know about the charges?
No, about him, about Mr. Nguyen.
Your Honor, his last conviction was from earlier in December out of California. He has multiple felonies, misdemeanors, a couple of failure to appears from 2016, and there's not been any contact with the victim.
I'm reading the affidavit for the arrest right now. Hold on a second.
Okay.
So he's got a prior battery by strangulation as an incident of domestic violence with the same victim. Is that case still open, 2022 CF 11295?
11295.
Yeah.
What was that case number, Your Honor?
2022 CF 11295.
It's been closed. Looks like it was closed as a mutual combat.
Your Honor, there was a no information notice filed on it.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead, I'll hear on bond. Defense, what did you want to say?
Your Honor, we would just ask for a reasonable bond according to the bond schedule be set as he's entitled to it.
State, did you want to?
No, Your Honor, we'll defer to the court for
Okay.
bond.
So the affidavit's interesting. There apparently was a gunshot. It's got a lot of facts concerning this. But like you said, they know info, the other charge concerning this victim. So we will, on count one, we'll set a bond of $25,000. And then the remaining ones will be $1,000 each. And then there will be a no contact whatsoever with the victim. Do not return to the scene of the offense. Now, you already had that, I believe, by the judge. Yeah, no return to Dancers Royale, no contact with the victim, yeah. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs as well. Do you understand, Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if she calls you, what do you do? Huh?
Block her.
You block her and you hang up.
Yes.
Don't do, if she texts you, what do? Ignore it. You don't respond. You respond, that's how you'll be back down here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Miss Baker back there? Good morning. Are you Miss Alaya Baker?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I got a couple things here. You're charged with battery and incident of domestic violence. Mr. Wendell Moultrie is not here, the alleged victim. So does she have any history on this? I mean, she's out on some pretty significant charges, but anything with him that you know of?
No, Your Honor, the case she's out on bond is with a different victim.
It's a different victim, okay. So I've reviewed the paperwork on this charge and I'm finding probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. What I'm gonna do on this is I'm gonna set bond at $250. You're not to have any contact whatsoever with the victim. Obviously, you would maintain a separate residence. Don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. But in case number 2022 CF 13688 or 80, I can't read the handwriting.
8-8.
88, okay. You're out on bond on like a aggravated battery with a deadly weapon as an incident of domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon as an incident of domestic violence, and battery as an incident of domestic violence in Division 16. I'm revoking your bond in that case, and you can have your attorney that I've appointed to schedule a hearing with that judge. Perhaps they'll reinstate it for you. Do you understand? Okay.
Your Honor, as a condition to the misdemeanor case, can we add a one-time return with law enforcement? Because they did live together.
Absolutely. You
Thank
can
you, Your Honor.
return one-time law enforcement. Get your belongings. All right, is that Mr. Briones Madrano?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, you're here on an allegation of, it's a simple battery and they're resisting an officer without violence.
Your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release.
Okay, so I found probable cause, point to PD, we'll provide for the pretrial release, but we have this issue with the victim, and we're going to have to make it a no contact
Yes, Your Honor.
whatsoever with the victim. You're going to maintain separate residences. You can return one time with the law enforcement officer to get your belongings if you have them there. Don't possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And it's PTR on both counts he's eligible for?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Clark?
Wait, one moment, Your Honor. Your Honor?
Yeah.
From what I understand, still on the, how do you say your last name?
Briones.
Briones case, they do work at a construction company in which emails are coming through. Is there any way we can make that stipulation that, like, work emails about work?
It's our own company.
Yeah, but the problem is, are they gonna come into physical contact with each other?
Is it remote or are you?
No, I just gotta get my, like my work truck trailer.
Yes, you have the
tools and-
one-time report, but as
That's
far as.
fine,
working-
we'll add that. We'll add that you're allowed to do the emails, obviously, they can't be hostile in any way.
Allowed to
Only
do
for work
emails?
purposes.
Yeah, work emails. Only. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
all right, are you Latrice Turner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and are you, is it Anitra Clark?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Clark, you're charged with, battery is an incident of domestic violence. I did review the paperwork, I'm finding probable cause, I'm pointing to the PT. Now, Ms. Turner, are you here about the bond conditions?
Yes, she shouldn't be in here, so yes.
Okay, and look, that's a,
Okay.
you know, law enforcement,
Right.
and I'm just setting probable cause and bond condition. Are you asking for her to come back home?
Yes, please.
Okay, so if I did that, it would be the, what we call no hostile or violent contact. Do you feel safe if I were?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, just
Oh, I'm
understand,
sorry.
I can't protect you. if
Well,
do.
you don't need to. She doesn't, yeah, she's not gonna hurt me.
Okay, so, Ms. Clark, if I give that provision, can you avoid any hostile contact? And you would, you know, step out and excuse yourself if things get heated in any way?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand I can't protect you?
Yes, sir. I don't need any protection. Thank
Okay.
you.
Did you show your ID to the state? We asked everybody else. I didn't want to leave you out of that.
And Your Honor, while she's doing that, she does qualify for pretrial release.
I was told she doesn't.
She
Oh, it's for the PD she doesn't qualify for.
Well, I spoke for her.
Yeah. So we're showing you don't qualify for the PD according to the clerk's office,
That's fine. I'll pay the cost. I don't care what it is.
correct? How far off is she? So you're saying take home is 1,400 every 2 weeks? Yeah. They're showing you're not gonna qualify, so
That's fine.
you get your own. So did we set everything? Are we good?
I believe so.
Yes, Your Honor.
So it was a pretrial release? All right, so again, don't know when she's getting out,
Okay.
but I think we have a wonderful racetrack down the road. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll wait. That's fine. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sorry? Yeah, no hostile, correct. Oh, I'm sorry, the standard provisions would be no hostile, obviously. But, you know, don't consume or any alcohol or illegal drugs. You got any weapons in the home, get rid of them, ma'am. And don't obviously possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, is this Miss Ellis? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Shantae Ellis, you're charged with batteries and incident domestic violence, and if you've got your ID with you, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
And you're Rockland Ellis?
Yes.
Okay, so, again, I found probable cause for the charge. I'll point to PD. Are you here, sir, Mr. Rockland Ellis, concerning the bond?
Concerning releasing her.
Yeah. So basically, you're grandpa?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And do you want Shantae to be able to come back?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now, Shantae, if I did that, it'd be like the last one I just did, if you heard it. It would be no hostile or violent contact with the alleged victim. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So when granddad says, my car could sure use a wash and wax, your response is,
Okay.
no, 1 or 2 coats. That's my Biff reference from Back to the Future.
Your Honor, I spoke with the victim regarding this case before court, and he informed me that he does not wish to press charges and that the victim will be returning to her home out of state. The state has no objection to an ROR for this case.
Okay.
I obviously have no objection.
ROR and no hostile contact with the victim. And we'll get her segued back to where she belongs, Granddad?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're very lucky to have a grandfather that loves you that much, to come down here after all this, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, good luck.
So she's coming home today?
Well, yeah, you remember that little speech I've been giving?
Wow, yes, yes, sir.
They'll be released when they release her.
Yes, sir. Thank
Don't know
you
when
very
that'll
much.
be.
Thank
But
you.
it'll be today.
Thank you.
All right, is Ms. Robinson here?
Sir?
All right, it's Najee? I said it right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we have someone join us and state if you want to look at, is that Frank Webb?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want to look at his ID? Ms. Tyner?
That is Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb and I spoke before court also. I'll let him speak for himself. The court wants to hear.
Sure, I'd love to hear it.
I didn't know I was going to speak. I'm sorry.
You
What
want
it- but what-
contact, right?
Yes, I wanted contact. I didn't think that this was going to go as far as it did, you know?
Okay.
I love her. I didn't
Aw.
know that this was even going to go this way, you know? Mistakes happen.
See, that was better than a dozen roses, what he just said. So here's what we'll do. I did find probable cause. I'll point to PD, but we'll ROR her. And just, look, no hostile or violent contact with the victim, okay? Do you understand? So when he says, I love you, honey, can you go make me a meal? Your response is,
Yes, sir.
no. What would you like to eat, honey? Okay? You got to protect yourself. I can't protect you. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So, do what you have to do to protect yourself and then call law enforcement. And we'll see what happens. All right, any questions?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. It's fine. She gets released today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know when, but she'll be released.
I'm waiting for you, bro.
All right. You have plenty of time to go get something to eat, do a little shopping, whatever you need to do. All right, we're moving on. Anthony Young.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Young, you're here on it's a misdemeanor charge of battery as an incident of domestic violence. I read the paperwork earlier and I found probable cause for this. Is he eligible for any type of release?
No, Your Honor.
No? All right, so the bond will be $250, but the problem is it's no contact with the victim, okay? Which means you gotta maintain a separate residence, and essentially you'd have to, you make an appointment with law enforcement to return one time to get your personal belongings. You can't consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. You can't possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so make sure you comply with the no contact order. But you have your bond, all right? Okay. All right, we're moving on.
Go get your stuff.
And I believe we got Miss Shonda Blake next.
That way.
Are you Shonda Blake? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Take a moment and get yourself together.
I don't know how to do this.
It's okay, it's just failures.
But I already feel fine.
Okay, I understand. We'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, you ready, Miss Blake?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are essentially 3 warrants that are out there. And the first one is you failed to appear on your charge. That was back on December 20th of 2022, and the judge set it a no bond basis, which is standard procedure for most judges when people fail to appear for court dates. The second one, that first one was in 2019 CF 15875. The next one's in 2018 CF 12166. Same thing, you failed to appear at your status hearing on December 20th. And then the third one's 2021 CF 14950. Again, failed to appear for your status hearing on December 20th. So the judge, again, put them on a no bond status. So we've appointed the PD to represent you, and they can schedule a bond hearing with the judge.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
On a warrant? Sure.
Yes, Your Honor, these are failure to appear warrants. I would ask the court to consider setting bonds. The reason being, she has had multiple cases dismissed due to incompetency.
Listen, if you can show me that she was in jail here or somewhere else at the time she failed to appear, I'd absolutely give you a bond. But otherwise, she's got to go back to the judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck.
What I do?
We'll have your attorney reach out.
All right, Mr. Busby, is that you? Okay. Got a couple matters to deal with. Okay, so you're charged with carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the paperwork, found probable cause, going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is he eligible for any type of release on those drug charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll set a bond, or you can do PTR, whatever you want to do. Count 1 will be $1,000. Count 2 will be $100, and count 3 will be $100, okay? And do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and do not consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Your Honor, was that bond or PTR that you said?
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay,
And I reduced that. You saw that.
hold on.
PTR or bond, it was
I haven't filed a notice yet.
1,100, 100. 1,100, 100, yep. Okay, now, you also picked up a driving under the influence. I read the paperwork, I found probable cause. The bond's gonna be $500. Again, do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And we've appointed the public defender for you on that as well.
Is that bond or PTR as well?
Oh, really? They're giving a PTR in these DUIs now?
Your Honor, this was a DUI on a bicycle.
Oh, we've had them in boats, we've had them, all sorts of things, golf carts. I had a golf cart one.
I understand. I feel like a golf cart is more dangerous than a pedal bicycle.
I'm gonna keep it at 500, but if he's eligible for PTR, they can let him out.
So 500 or PTR?
500 or PTR, and do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
So you can bond or you can do release on PTR.
Bradley Cardwell was a refusal.
Refusal will reset him.
Your Honor, we'd waive if appointed.
Huh?
We'd waive if appointed. You have to pay money or you don't. I'll explain it. But you can make that decision.
Okay, well,
So go this way.
so in Cardwell,
Yes, Your Honor, we'd waive.
all right, so we'll appoint you. So we got the new charges,
And that is the
possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting without violence, and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. I read the paperwork and I found probable cause. The bonds will be reduced, number one, to $100. Number two, $100. And we'll leave number three at $1,000. And then he has a warrant out of Seminole County as well, and it's on a no bond basis. So we're gonna hold him until Seminole picks him up, and if they refuse to pick him up, we'll give him a bond, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that Ms. Cruz?
Yes.
All right. All right, is it Daisy? How do you say it?
Asia.
Deja Cruz. All right, Ms. Cruz. So the reason you're here is because it's alleged that you committed the following crimes. And I've got a note on count 3 I had a problem with, so you can help me with that. Possession of methamphetamine, possession of alprazolam, and then grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. Now, I found probable cause on the first 2. The third one, I mean, I'd give the state 48 hours to supplement, or we could just ROR on her.
The state has no objection to ROR if she's gonna be given a bond on the other charges.
Okay, we'll ROR on 3. Okay? I'm gonna leave the bonds as set. 1,000 and 1,000. Don't possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. But, Ms. Cruz, in 2022 CF 12079, you're out on bond on some drug charges and some other, I guess, city charges as well.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes?
Your Honor, the complaint came in October 18th of 2022, and there has been no information filed at this time. We'd ask for no action to be taken. And Your Honor, I believe it's because it's drug charges. FDLE is pretty backed up, so the state is not filing charges until the FDLE reports come back.
Yes, Your Honor, our office is waiting on reports. Given that she's picked up on a methamphetamine charge, I would ask that you revoke and set a new bond. She's released PTR she's conditional release for PTR with no bond for the methamphetamine charge that defense just mentioned.
Okay.
And Your
Here's
Honor, I would have no objection to revoke and setting a new bond.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna revoke, and you're gonna have to go back to the judge to get a bond. And you can tell them everything that your counsel said here today. But I'll let that judge decide what the bond will be. Are we up to Mr. Gandy? All right, are you Justin Gandy?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. You're here on the following charges: possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of alprazolam. I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause for all charges. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. Is he eligible for any type of release?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the bonds a little. So count 1 will be $1,000. Count 2 will be $1,000. It'll be $100 on count 3. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Yes, Mr. Gandy.
It'll be 2,100. 2,100.
Okay? You've got your bonds. All right, is this Mr. Dean Grant Young? All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, so I've got a warrant here that another judge signed. It's on a failure to appear on your at your arraignment.
Yeah.
On January 3rd, 2023, on your possession of firearm by a convicted felon. So talk to your attorney, don't talk to me. Is there any reason, like, was he in jail on something else or whatever? It's the 7th.
And I got
My question is, what?
I didn't know. I was looking up my phone. I couldn't find it. Like I was really looking up my
listen,
Your Honor, he states that he was not aware of his court date.
well, for 17 years, I have been pushing for a website called courtdate.com that would send text messages and emails to all defendants of upcoming court dates. No one will take me up on my offer for it, but I think it would be a fantastic program. But 17 years later, there's no courtdate.com. I hear you, but I can't do it. You got a $5,000 bond on it, okay? All right.
I was gonna say, I got another.
Well, we'll talk about that.
And Your Honor, was
Not
the
today.
PD's office appointed? Because we were not.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you.
PD appointed, so,
No R&R could do? That's not.
look,
The bond.
go to the judge, talk to them,
Judge.
and maybe
No, and
he or she will change it, but I can't do anything about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Gregory.
Gregory has mental health.
Mental health,
No, because
all right.
Come to your arraignment.
How about Miss Anna Hammett?
Here. Mm-hmm.
Are we resetting Gregory?
I apologize, Your Honor. I did not hear what was going on with the court. Which case are we on?
No, we passed on Gregory.
Did he refuse? Mental health, Your Honor, we'd waive.
Mental health. You waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's a battery on law enforcement resisting an officer without violence, and I read the paperwork and found probable cause. And we'll keep the bond at $2,500 on count one and $500 on count two. And PD's appointed, all right?
Anna Hammett,
And Anna Hammett,
bonded.
bonded, all right? Justin Hernandez?
Sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your Honor, I believe he qualifies for PTR.
Okay, so you're charged with carrying a concealed firearm. And I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause for the charge. Does he qualify?
He does.
All right, so we'll do PTR or a bond if you want. It would be $2,500. On either one of them, though, do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Do you understand? Okay. All right, Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Are you Trevor Howell? Okay, you're here on the following charges: destruction of evidence, possession of cocaine, resisting officer without violence, and trespass other than in a structure or conveyance. And I reviewed the paperwork earlier, and I found probable cause for the charges. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. I'm going to stay the bonds at 1,000, 1,500, and 500. But, Mr. Howell, I'm showing that you're out on bond in 2022 CF 386 for tampering with physical evidence, and 2021 CF 14080 sell or delivery of cocaine.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Sure.
Your Honor, Mr. Howell has informed me that his mother did just pass away and her funeral is going to be next Saturday. So he asked, today? It's today?
No, next Saturday.
Okay, it's going to be next Saturday. Your Honor, we'd ask the court to take that in consideration when dealing with these cases that he's out on bond for.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very sorry for your loss. That's very hard. But unfortunately, I'm going to revoke your bond in those two cases in light of your new charges, but see if your attorney can get you a bond hearing on that so you can attend. All right, we're up to Damian Johnson. Are you Damian Johnson?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have been charged with first-degree murder with a weapon. I have reviewed the paperwork. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and I'm going to find probable cause. And you're going to be held on no bond at this point until the judge downtown deals with your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Is that family member? Is that your mom?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we appreciate you being here in support of him, but I have to go by what the paperwork says. But talk to the attorney and they will give you guidance as you go through this, all right? All right. Jesus, is it Mastery?
Maestri.
Mastery. All right, sir, you're charged with possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon, and then possession of cocaine. I reviewed the paperwork, and I found probable cause for the charges. The thing I didn't understand was there, and you don't need the answer, I'm talking to the state.
Yes.
No, it was about the cannabis thing. I was just wondering if they were gonna charge it with that. Huh?
Is this?
It's 31 counts of possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, and then 1 count of the possession of cocaine. Yep. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, well, I'm not gonna worry about that. So again, PD is appointed, and let's talk about the bond, because it's 31 counts, and we know how that goes with ammunition.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, based off of the fact that they can't charge him with 31 counts, they can only charge him with 1. We would ask for him to be ROR'd on all but 1.
It's your chance. Ms. Tyner, what do you want to say?
The state will defer to the bench on that.
I don't have a problem with that. We'll do the 1 count, and we'll keep it at $9,500, and the other 30 counts, it'll be ROR, and then on the possession of cocaine, that'll actually be $250 on that one. So do not possess or own any firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand? Okay.
To get that lowered. Nope, that's for you.
All right, Mr. Marcellus?
Marcellus is mental health. Your Honor, we'd waive.
Okay, good. What did you say?
Mental health?
But he's a, okay, so you're gonna waive, we'll point the PD. It's just a warrant. It's aggravated assault with a firearm. It was on a no bond basis. State any reason why I can't, since he's getting a mental health exam, set this at $1,000 and do not possess or own any weapons or firearms, or because it's an aggravated assault, you'd like to go higher with a no contact with the victim?
The state would ask for $2,500 and a no contact due to the fact that he does have mental health concerns.
Okay, any problem with that?
No objection, Your
All right,
Honor.
we'll do that. $2,500, no contact, direct or indirect with the victim. And you, for sure, because I was going to order a mental health exam, but you're saying he's having one.
He's in mental health right now.
Yes, okay, that's good. That's what we need to know. And don't possess, we talked about. All right. Jaquez Medlock?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. All right, sir. So what it is you've been arrested for and charged with the possession of a weapon or ammunition by a gang-related felon or delinquent, grand theft, third degree of motor vehicle, carrying a concealed firearm, and possession of burglary tools. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. Huh?
I didn't say.
Oh, okay. So I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause. So the count 1 would be $5,000 on the bond, and then count 2, $1,000, count 3, $1,000, and then count 4 will be $400. Do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Do you understand? No, I said 5 on count 1.
This is for you.
Count 3, no, 5,000, 1,000, 1,500. So I changed count 1. Well, they had it marked as 4, but then it was modified here. Right, with the don't possess and firearms and whatnot. Okay. Is it Mr. Pockner?
Sir.
Okay, Timothy Pockner, you're here. I've got an arrest warrant here, and it's essentially on a charge, a probable cause order on a grand theft third degree of $10,000 or more. the bond amount was set at,
It was set at PTR, Your Honor, but I wanted to ask if you can strike PTR because he does not qualify due to other legal constraints.
okay. And you're not to have any contact directly with the victim, co-defendant, or witnesses, and do not return to the scene of the offense. So what else do we know about him as far as his background? So any bond recommendations based on his background? Ms. Tyner?
Yes, Your Honor. He has, his last conviction was in 2018 for petty theft with 2 priors. He has prior burglaries, criminal mischiefs, resisting, escape, and possession of burglary tools, as well as a burglary.
Convictions or charges?
Those are all convictions.
Wow, okay.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Yes.
Seeing as the last conviction was back in the beginning of 2018, we'd asked for a bond of no more than $2,500 in this case.
Your Honor, he does have 2 open cases and an active Volusia County warrant. Is this the Volusia County warrant? Sorry.
No.
I don't have where it's out of. I just have, it always says orange, so.
No, it's orange.
Yeah, so he also has a Volusia County warrant as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna set it at 5,000. And you got the PD, so. Is it Petty Faree?
No,
Who is this?
I don't have that name.
I've got Dixon Pettifari.
What's the inmate number, Your Honor?
2300503.
They bonded.
What about Roll? Ronaldo Roll, they bond?
What's the inmate number?
2300526.
They bonded.
Okay. Are you Miss Adrian Salas? Okay. Miss Salas, you're here, it's alleged that you committed petty theft with 2 prior convictions and trespass on property after warning.
I didn't know.
No, you don't want to talk about the thing. We're just here on probable cause right now. I mean, listen, you have every right to talk, but the state's going to write down everything you say and use it against you, so just be aware of that. So I found probable cause, so I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'm going to stay the bonds at $1,000 and $100, and no return to the scene. But I'm showing she's got she's out on bond on a larceny in 2022 MM 7839. And then there's also possession of MDMA in 2022 CF 13795. Is that one? It looks like is that just 795?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me why you shouldn't revoke those bonds in light of the new charges.
Your Honor, the 22 CF 13795, the complaint occurred on 11/29 of 2022. There's been no information filed. In 22 MM 7839, although there was an information filed on December 2nd, and there was an arraignment on December 29th, there are no dates that are set, so there are no PTCs, no statuses, there's nothing set in that case.
Okay. Well, I'm revoking your bond in those 2 cases. You'll have to go to the judges in those to get a bond.
So I still got a bond.
You have a bond on the new cases, not on the old one.
All right, we have Mr. Samaria Thomas next.
Refusal?
Your Honor, we'd waive.
Well, okay. We got a warrant on a possession of MDMA. The judge set it at $1,500. And he's out on bond in 2022 CF 7714 on burglary of a structure, grand theft, possession of burglary tools, and criminal mischief. So I'm going to revoke his bond in that case, and again, we point the PD, and he can go talk to the judge about getting a bond. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Anthony Williams?
Refusal?
Your Honor, we'd waive.
Okay, so We'll appoint the PD on this charge of robbery. I reviewed it and I found probable cause. And I'm gonna keep the bond at 5,000, no return to the trust, no, it's Truist, isn't it?
Truist.
Truist Bank. All right. We up to our traffics? So we'll have a lot of bonded out, so yell them out as I go through, okay? I got Javier, Quiroz? No?
Quiroz.
Quiroz, all right. Where's Quiroz from?
Guatemala.
Guatemala, all right, love Guatemala. Love the, right there next to Mexico.
El Salvador.
Yeah, it's just beautiful over there. Beautiful. All right, sir, so you got a charge of driving under the influence. Read the paperwork, I found probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the PD to represent you. The bond's 500, is there some reason you haven't bonded out yet?
Oh, I could bond.
Okay, well, you didn't have to see me to do that.
Oh, okay.
You could have bonded out before you saw me, so we'll do that. And of course, we're gonna say, do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. All right, sir? Okay, take care. What happened to Luis Rodriguez?
Is the inmate number, Your Honor?
Huh?
The inmate number?
Inmate.
2300505.
He bonded.
He did on a, it had a bond. Okay, are you Jocelyn Smith?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today, Ms. Smith? Great. All right, so here's what we got. I got an arrest warrant, and that is in 2022 CT 1392. And so in that case, you failed to appear for your status hearing, and the judge issued a capias and set the bond at $500. Again, let me know if you know of any reason why she could not have physically been there, i.e. was a guest of the state when the hearing was scheduled. Okay, doesn't sound like one. Then you've got a traffic charge that came up, and it's another, well, it's driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge, and reviewed that, found probable cause. The bond's $500 on that. Now, we're gonna just leave it at that, okay? So she's got her bonds and she can get out. Is this William Luna?
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Luna. You're here on a trespass on property after warning.
Yes, sir.
Now, are these, can we take pleas on these?
Yes, Your Honor. The state didn't give an offer on this one since he was in someone's backyard, but if he wants to plead to the bench.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
So for this trespass, there was no offer given because he was in someone's backyard.
Okay, so you want to talk to the victim and what?
Yes, Your Honor. We want to see how they would like to.
So we won't do it today, but here's the issue anyway, even if you took a plea. So I found probable cause on appointing the PD, but you're out on a, in 2022 CF 9532, violation of an injunction or foreign protection order when you picked up this charge. So I'm going to give you a bond on the trespass. It's $500 and no return to scene, but I'm revoking your bond in that violation of an injunction. You'll need to go to the judge to get a bond on that. All right, Alan Peterson. I'm sorry?
But I thought that,
What's your question?
You think it's over?
No.
Is it still active?
oh, no, it expired in July.
2022
Yeah.
CF 9532. No, this is the charge that they filed for the alleged violation of your injunction. Okay, is that case still pending, state, or anybody?
It is, Your Honor.
Still pending, so, sorry. You'll have to go to that judge to get a bond. Alan Peterson?
Yes, sir.
Is that you, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're charged with providing false ID to a law enforcement officer. I did find probable cause. Is this a pleable?
It is, Your Honor.
What's the offer?
There is no offer. I,
Okay, that's fine. All right, so Mr. Peterson, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you, and I'm gonna keep the bond at $500, all right?
So can I bond out, sir?
Oh, yeah, you could have,
He cannot, Your Honor. He has a hold for probation because he's a VFOSC.
okay. So, Mr. Peterson, do you like music? You like music?
Sir?
Do you like music?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the band, the Eagles?
No, sir.
You don't? Oh, my gosh. Well, then, I'm not gonna tell you the analogy, so thank you, have a great day. All right, is that Miss Natalie Simpkins? Yes, sir. I bet you remember the Eagles, don't you, Miss Simpkins?
No, sir.
No? Golly, my daughter went to their concert like 4 years ago. I mean, they're not that old. They're still around, but we're gonna move on. That's not important. So you were charged with a battery, all right? And I reviewed the paperwork and I found probable cause. Have you talked to the victim? Are we ready to make her an offer?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm making a note. There's a victim in this case.
That's what I'm saying. Had you talked to the
There's no
victim?
offer.
Okay. So, we're gonna keep the bond at 500, appoint the PD to represent you. All right, ma'am? All right, my favorite section of the day is it Cornelius
Yes.
Martin?
Yes,
Or is
sir.
it Eugene Cornelius?
Oh, they got my name spelled wrong.
Oh, you're one of those classic things, yeah, where they get it backwards. Also known as Cornelius Martin.
Good
Okay.
afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, good afternoon. Well, listen, sir, there's a warrant, okay?
Yes, sir.
And it's out of county. And so here's what we're gonna do.
I got a bond on it.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about right now.
Okay.
So there's a charge, well, it's the fraudulent use of a credit card more than 2 times in 6 months, and the bond's $2,500.
Sir.
And so they're gonna contact the other agency to let them know you're here, but you can bond out on that. But here's the problem.
Yes, sir.
You're out on bond in a Volusia case, is that correct?
Orange County case.
Orange County case.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 2022 CF 9491. And I just don't have all the information on this other bond, Ms. Tyner. So state,
Since it's out of county,
I'm just, the question is, are they gonna let him go while he's got this going? I guess he's, no, don't say anything, don't say anything. He's got a bond on that. I think he's even got a pretrial diversion going on in that, in our case. So I'm not gonna touch your bond in Orlando. You've got the $2,500 bond
Yes, sir.
in that, and, they do something, okay?
So so I'll just pay the 2,500.
Do you like music?
Yes, sir.
You know the band, the Eagles?
Yeah, I've heard of.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm throwing softballs.
Play the music, right?
They got one of the most famous songs is Hotel California,
Okay.
all right? And it goes along, and then it gets to the point where it says, you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. So the point is this, I may give you a bond, but that doesn't mean that you leave, or, which is really kind of nasty, they let you actually pay the bond, and as you're walking out the door, they arrest you on something else. So, sure, whatever you think on the 2,500, I just, it's Hotel California, who knows?
Got you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not guaranteeing, I'm just telling you, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Great.
So over here, I'm good here.
you're good in Orange.
Hotel California, yeah, okay. All right, is that Michael Jordan? Uh-huh. Step on up, Mr. Jordan. So look, I've got some out-of-county warrants for you as well. All right? Now, I don't show that there's any bond on these.
It is, Your Honor.
There are?
$11,000.
$11,000. Okay, so Seminole County wants you, and there's $11,000 on the fraudulent use of a credit card. And then the second one is, well, it's, hold on, different second charge. Is that what it is? Let me look. 2 counts of that essentially. 407-665-6511 looks the same. Am I missing something?
It's a blanket bond, Your Honor.
But it's just the one.
The one bond. Just
Yeah, it's 11,000. So here's what you can do. Give us 11,000 and we'll let you go. Or wait until Seminole County comes and picks you up, okay? And if they don't pick you up, we'll bring you back in and see what we can do to get you out of here, okay? All right, good luck. Gregory Ponce. Mr. Ponce? Good afternoon. All right, so we have some out-of-county warrants for you. There's 2 warrants. The first one is this allegation you violated your possession of oxycodone, and that's a $2,000 bond. And then there's another one that is possession of a controlled substance. Now, they no bonded that one, according to this. So you're going to be held until they come and pick you up, or again, we'll bring you back. Because one of them was a failure to appear, and the other one was the VOP. All right? Okay. We got Brandon, is it Uberia?
Good morning, sir. Or good
Or
afternoon.
good afternoon. It was morning when you got up, but now it's afternoon. All right, so I got also an out of county warrants in Volusia. And what it's saying is this. It's alleged you violated your probation on your underlying conviction on the possession of drug paraphernalia, and they no bonded it. So Volusia's been contacted, and they should pick you up, and if they don't, we'll give you a bond. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck. All right, we're up to felony VOPs, I believe, and is this Douglas Duartes? All right, yes?
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. All right, so Mr. Duarte, is it Duarte or Duartes?
Duarte.
Duarte, all right. So I've got 2 matters. There's the allegation that you committed the crime of possession of methamphetamine, and then you have a violation of probation.
Your Honor, may I be heard on the possession?
On the possession, yes, I would love to hear that. And we'll appoint the PD to represent you.
Your Honor, the defense takes the position that there's no PC for the possession in this case. Although the officer states that he didn't see the narcotics in the room, he never saw a client with the drugs in his possession. When asked about the drugs, he stated that they were not his, and that there were others that had been in the room and that drugs could have belonged to him. So although the officer may have had suspicion, it doesn't arise to probable cause in this case.
This is what they pay you the big bucks for, Madam Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. Just 1 second. The room was registered to Mr. Duarte, who was the sole occupant of the hotel at the time, and he did have all of his other belongings in the room. So state's position that there is PC, but we'll leave this decision up to the court.
Your Honor, may I respond?
You may.
Your Honor, although he was the person who rented the room, the drugs were not found in his possession. He did state other people were in the room. We don't know if there had been a clean sweep of the room before, if drugs were in the room before. There's so much that we don't know, and if we stay within the 4 corners of the document, it does not arise to probable cause.
Okay, I appreciate the arguments. Well done. I am going to find probable cause. We'll do the $1,000 bond and don't possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Now, we have the VOP allegation.
Hold on, you're not done.
This is an on-view VOP?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to find probable cause for that as well, and you'll be on a no bond status. You can go to the judge on that case. I think it's 2022 CF 2460 to get a bond on that. All right, Chase Feldman. Good afternoon, Mr. Feldman. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've got two arrest issues I got to deal with. The first one is the new charge of possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And we'll stay the bonds at 1,000 on count one, 100 on count two. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Now, as a result of that arrest, in case number 2022 CF 4564, it's alleged that you violated your drug probation, which you are on at this time. So I'm going to find probable cause for that. We're going to set you at a no bond status, Mr. Feldman. You're going to have to go to the judge in that last case to obtain a bond. All right, Adonis Lawson. Is that you, Mr. Lawson?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So what we have here, and I believe it is, the warrant is, what did I write down? No, it was Orange County. Okay. So Judge Navarro had issued a warrant for your arrest for alleged violation of your probation for your underlying conviction for possession of a controlled substance. And she set it at a no bond status. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to appoint a PD to represent you, and then you can get with the PD and Judge Navarro's division. Anybody know who that would be? And talk to him or her about getting a bond. All right? All right. Okay. City and county ordinance time. Is that Omar, is it Harvey?
Bonded.
Bonded?
I was gonna let him go.
Are you Yamirius Sanchez Asensio? All right. Okay, so I think you're our last guest. So you have been charged with this state misdemeanor from a while ago, I guess, signed by Judge Murphy. Oh, okay. So the arrest, instead of doing a resisting, he did a city ordinance. It shall be unlawful to commit within the limits of the city any act which shall be recognized by the law of the state of Florida as a misdemeanor in the commission. And this alleges, hold on, I can't even find my notes on this. Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's when they went in there with the search warrant, they saw you allegedly flushing fentanyl down the toilet. So that is the charge, and he is out on bond on the possession of cocaine. So appoint the PD. Go ahead.
Your Honor, based off of the fact that this is just a city ordinance, and the allegations for the resisting is that they told him to come out of the bathroom and he didn't, we would ask for no action to be taken on the case that he's out on. And if the court is so inclined to not take any action, we'd ask if there's an offer on the city ordinance.
Well, I mean, I'm finding probable cause for it.
Yeah, I wasn't making a probable cause.
And I'm going to set bond at $100 and don't possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. But he is out on a possession of cocaine.
Yes, Your Honor. It says suspected. They don't know what it was. So just based off of what they charged, which was the resisting, he didn't come out.
Yeah.
We'd ask for the court to not take any action on the case that he's out on.
Well, I am going to revoke your bond in 2022 CF 12793, and you can get with the PD in that case to see if they can give you a bond based on this. All right, is there anybody else we can help? We good? if we're good, that'll conclude IAs. Let me know if we need an interpreter, okay, Ms. Anderson?
Your Honor, we have 6 that need an interpreter.
Okay.
Mr. Arroyo is not one of them. Do you want to handle
Okay.
the Spanish ones first?
Same interpreter, right, for Osceola and Orange? Let's just get through and then we'll do them.
Okay.
And then we'll call them up on the orange ones. So it'll be a steady flow. Okay, are you William Arroyo?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Arroyo, you're here today because it's alleged that you... Oh, okay, sorry. So there was a warrant issued on alleged violation of your probation for your underlying convictions, which I will not repeat. But the judge in that case has set the bond at 0.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so we'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You can go to that judge. It's about getting a bond. Okay, Mr. Arroyo?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Is Mr. Capote there?
He is not, Your Honor.
And is he refused?
He refused. Is it possible to get a reset, 24-hour reset?
Sure. Okay, Mr. Edgar Colon Rivera?
President
Interpreter?
approaching, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, you're Edgar Colon Rivera?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Rivera, I've got several matters I want to talk to you about. First, I want to talk about a new law charge of possession of cocaine and tampering with evidence. And I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. I'm going to reduce the bonds to $1,000 on the possession of cocaine and $500 on the tampering charge. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's one. Now let's go to the next one. That was the good news. The next one is it's alleged you violated your probation on your petty theft, and
Trespassing.
it's an on view, and so we're going to leave the bond at 0 on that. You can go back to the judge in that division to ask for a bond. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right, we'll appoint the PD for that one as well. Brian Edward. Oh, go ahead. What? Did you have a question?
No.
Okay, great. Brian Edwards.
Mr. Edwards refused, Your Honor. Can we get a 24-hour reset?
Yeah. Marcellus Felton.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Marcellus Felton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Felton, you're charged with trespass after warning. I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. I'm going to set bond at $500, no return to the scene, and no contact with the victim, Miss A. Ruiz. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Judge, Mr.
All right.
Felton qualifies for direct pretrial release. Would you consider that type of release?
Okay, so I need your help on that one. If you think he qualifies, let me know before I announce the bond.
Yes,
So, State?
State doesn't object to PTR.
Okay, we'll do PTR. Now, do y'all do PTR or bond? Have you fully qualified him?
He's fully qualified for direct PTR.
Okay, so PTR, but still the same conditions. Don't return to the scene and don't contact the victim. Okay, sir? All right, you're good. Mr. Galarza Gonzalez.
This is a matter for the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Courtney Hill. Is Miss Courtney Hill there?
Yes, President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Miss Courtney Hill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ms. Hill, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of drug paraphernalia. I read the paperwork, found probable cause.
PTR, does she qualify?
She does not.
Okay, yeah, just shout it out if they do before I announce the bond. So I'm reducing the bond to $1,000 on count 1 and $250 on count 2, and do not possess or consume any alcohol or non-prescribed drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day. Eric Lutz. Mr. Lutz, are you there?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lutz, let me tell you what's going on. These are warrants. And here's what we have. We got warrants in Orange County, and we got a total of 3. And so there is one warrant for grand theft motor vehicle at $25,000. There's another warrant for, oops, hold on, sorry. Another one for grand theft motor vehicle, it's $2,500, and then a resisting officer without violence for $500. So you have a bond. They'll hold you. Orange County usually come down and pick you up and move you, but you could bond out right now. Well, you guys aren't appointing public defenders for out-of-county warrants, correct? They'll basically bring you back up if Orange County doesn't get you, but they'll get you. Am I correct in all that? Has anything changed at the jail? I'm correct?
I believe that's the case, Your Honor.
Okay, there you go. All right. Thank you, sir. Alfredo Mejias Sanz.
This is a matter for the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
All right, we'll put it over there. How about Leonardo Mendez Lugo?
That's a matter for the Spanish interpreter as well, Your Honor.
How about Glenn Mitchell?
He is present and approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Glenn Mitchell? I need to hear you. Yes. Yes, okay. So, Mr. Mitchell, I've got a couple matters to deal with you. First, there was a warrant issued on a violation of probation, and the judge set it at 0. And so we'll appoint the PD to represent you. You can go see Judge Karsten on that.
I'm sorry,
then,
Judge. If
yes.
I may, Mr. Mitchell declined the services of the public defender.
Okay. They'll do a review hearing down in Osceola at some point on that. And then you have another one on a VOP, alleged VOP, on delivery of the underlying conviction for delivery of cocaine and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. That one's also at 0. You also declined the PD for that charge as well, sir? Yes? Okay. So they'll reset you for review, but you need to schedule a hearing with the judge. I would suggest you get the public defender to represent you. But it's a free world. Laurent Mullimus.
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
And did I pronounce that right? Laurent Mullimus? Molimus, thank you, sir. All right, so what we have here is a warrant in Orange County, and it's on a grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. The bond is $25,000. So you can either post the bond or wait till they transport you up to Orange, okay? All right. Nicholas Perez Olivares.
This is a matter for the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
All right.
As well as the next one, Jordan Perez Soto.
Ordan Perez Soto needs an interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Monette Richards.
She qualifies for direct pretrial release, Judge.
There you go. I like that. Good morning, Miss Richards. How are you?
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Oh, good. I love your hair, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So, Miss Richards, you're here on a charge of trespass of an occupied structure. Hey, I reviewed the paperwork. I found probable cause. I don't want you to return to that Dunkin' Donut. Do you understand?
I love Dunkin' Donuts.
You know, I hear you, but you're going to have to learn to go to Panera's or something. I don't know. Go Bagels or something. But stay away from Dunkin'. All right. This particular store, that is. Now, the bond's 250, but you're saying she's qualified for pretrial release?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, so we'll do pretrial release on it. Okay?
All right now. That's it?
That's it, Ms. Richards.
Assalamu alaikum then.
Grab a donut on the way out. Donovan Rogers.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Rogers. Listen, there was a warrant issued in county court on an allegation you violated your petty theft probation, and the judge set it at 0. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and you can go to, I believe, Judge Epperson to get see if they'll give you a bond. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. When would that be?
I don't know. Ask the PD when they can schedule it. I don't know. Hopefully soon. All right, Christopher Simmons.
President approaching, Your Honor, and defense will waive formal reading of the charges.
Okay. Are you Christopher Cortez Simmons?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it was waived as far as the charges. The bond is set at 0 on this warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, Mr. Simmons. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, have a good day. Carlos Valentin Delgado.
This is a matter for the Spanish interpreter.
All right. How about Javier Diaz Camacho?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Diaz Camacho. You're here on a warrant that was issued on the charge of grand theft greater than $750 but less than $5,000. The judge set the bond at $5,000 and not to return to the Ulta store in question. I'm going to appoint the PD to represent you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Josephine Galindo Lozano.
She refused, Your Honor. Can we get a 24-hour reset, please?
Yeah. Sean Smith.
I have a probable cause argument for this one, Your Honor.
Okay, let's get him up here.
I'm sorry, he refused as well, Your Honor. Can we get a reset?
Yes. Can we reset like when I used to work at the jail full-time doing IAs and reset for Monday? So when I came in every Monday, I had all these resets. But we're not going to do that.
That's frowned upon, but I have no objection.
Well, yeah, because you won't be here. Yeah. Mondays were always special when working at the jail. But let's move on. Trevor Javar Atkin.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Now, this was this an add-on to previous? How did this go down? No?
I believe this was a reset, Your Honor. And
Okay, but it was a reset on the one charge, right? Count 2, criminal attempt of capital felony murder. Am I reading that right?
Your Honor, I believe I have.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, defense. I'm sorry.
Oh, I believe this was an add-on. The count 1 was an add-on from December 31st. Initial appearance.
See, I kept thinking the criminal attempt of capital felony was the add-on. So go ahead.
Your Honor, I believe I have some information for the court regarding this case. Can we come back to this?
All right, Mr. Atkin, have a seat. We'll get back to you. How about Anthony Elser Scott, also known as Eric Elser Scott?
President approaching, Your Honor, and defense will waive formal reading of the charges.
Yeah, hold on one second, because I'm reading my notes on this. Not addressed. So that was not addressed on the record. So this warrant was not addressed?
Judge, pretrial release, the warrant was addressed.
Okay, but what, the judge didn't address the fact that he was out on bond?
That's correct, Judge. The judge didn't took any action or addressed the case that he's out on bond for Orange County.
Well, I don't have all the paperwork. What's the date of the offense for the new law charges?
I don't have that information, Judge.
Okay, this was July 5th, 23. January 5th, 23. So clearly, he was out on bond on 2022 CF 13427 in Orange County when he was charged with these new ones, which would be a violation. So, and you're there, that's you, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I am going to revoke his bond in the Orange County case. Is he entitled to a public defender here for the out-of-county one?
Yes, Your Honor. An application of insolvency has been completed.
Okay, so let's appoint the PD, and then you can schedule a hearing in Orange County if you bond out on your other ones. Of course, you're in a no bond status on one of your accounts anyway, but if you get those cleared up, you could then get transported up to Orange to deal with that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
He already has PD? Just, okay. All right. I want to say Samaj Watson.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Defense, I have some additional information for probable cause. I believe this is a reset.
Yes, that information was forwarded to me early this morning. I do still have a probable cause argument as to count 1 and 4.
Okay, so what we're here on is 1, 3, 4, and 7 is what we're dealing with today. And is that you, Mr. Watson?
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Anderson, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 1.
The shooting at or within?
Within or into an occupied vehicle. The affidavit stated that the alleged victim told police that the defendant fired 1 round in the direction of her, and then she later stated that she was not sure if the firearm was actually pointed at her. It could have been pointed up in the air. And I would say, considering the totality of the circumstances, there's not enough here to suggest that Mr. Smith shot at, within, or into a vehicle, and then the same applying to count 4, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
And I think it's Mr. Watson. Go ahead, Ms. Tyner.
Yes, Your Honor. So I have violation of injunctions and a discharge of gun from vehicle. So there are 2 counts of the this is different. My paperwork is.
Okay, violation of the domestic violence injunctions, count 7.
Okay, I only have 3 on the paperwork I was given.
So it's 1, 3, 4, and 7.
Based off the affidavit and the argument the defense just made, this is the state's position that he did shoot at the vehicle, and that's the basis for the charge, and that the facts supporting that are within the affidavit provided. So whether or not it made it into the vehicle is irrelevant, but he did shoot at the victim, and the victim was in the vehicle.
Your Honor, if I may.
Oh, yes, Ms. Anderson, go ahead.
I just wanted to reemphasize the fact that the alleged victim said she was not sure if the firearm was pointed at her. It could have been pointed up in the air. So defense would argue again that the facts actually do not support counts 1 and 4.
Okay, well, I'm reading the arrest warrant as well, and I'm going to disagree. I'm going to find probable cause on count 1. Anything on 3, 4, 7?
Nothing sad, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to find probable cause, point the PD and the rest of these charges as well, and then let's go ahead and set a bond. I had written down, after reviewing everything, count 1, 7,500, count 3, 7,500, count 4, 1,000, and count 7, 5,000. Comply with all existing no contact provisions, and they have no contact with the victim and do not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's get the interpreter on. Huh? Oh, did I miss one? Okay, hold on. All right. So let's go back to Trevor Aitken. And it looked, is Mr. Aitken there?
He's President approaching, Your Honor.
Good morning again, Your Honor.
Hey, good morning. So this is the one, again, I asked if it was an add-on. It appeared that they wanted to add a criminal attempt of capital felony under count 1. Did you look at that, Ms. Anderson? Remember, they had like the murder attempted.
I do see that, Your Honor. The only thing I have here is an affidavit that mentions there's a warrant with an amended count. I have nothing else.
Well, I've got an arrest warrant.
To reference or support that. I don't have an arrest warrant, Your Honor.
I don't even recognize this judge's signature. It's as bad as mine. But it was issued on December 22nd. And I don't think a bond had been set on that. Am I missing something, Ms. Tyner?
I don't believe so. All I have is the arrest for the 3 charges: premeditated murder, agbat, and then shooting or throwing missile. So I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I'm just looking at the arrest warrant signed by the judge. So we'll just set it at $1,000 on that count, so it'll be added in. We'll have all 4.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
All right. Interpreter time?
For the remaining counts, are they to stay as that?
I thought they were already addressed.
Okay.
Yeah, they had already been addressed.
I don't get much information with the Osceola paperwork. I'm very sorry, defense. Thank you.
It's all right.
No worries.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. It's already on. I mean, we're on this call right now. So add one. Got it. And Jose Galarraza Gonzalez, venga aquí, por favor.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter, and I have not been sworn this morning, Your Honor.
And Rafael, what was your last name?
It's Barreras, Your Honor. Barreras.
All right, we're going to swear you in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English testimonies given?
I do.
All right, we're going to start. Are you Jose Gonzalez?
Usted es señor José González.
Galarza González.
Galarza González.
Permiso. Galarza Gonzalez.
Disculpe, Galarza González.
All right, you're here because a warrant was issued.
Usted se encuentra aquí porque se emitió una orden de arresto
On the charge of failing to register at county of residence.
por no registrarse el contado de residencia.
This is a offense for which you're entitled to a bond.
Este es un delito por el cual usted tiene derecho a fianza.
Anything I need to know about Mr. Galarza Gonzalez?
¿Algo más que yo necesite saber sobre el señor Galarza González?
Don't know if you heard me, Judge, but he qualifies for direct pretrial release.
No sé si usted me escuchó, su señoría, pero él reúne requisitos para libertad provisional.
Okay, so let's appoint the public defender,
Vamos a designar al defensor público
and we will pre-trial release.
le vamos a dar libertad provisional,
But listen to me carefully, Mr. Galarza Gonzalez.
pero escúcheme cuidadosamente, señor Galarza González.
You need to immediately, when you get out,
Pero usted necesita inmediatamente cuando usted salga
register,
ir a registrarse
and don't forget the jail was your last place that you resided.
y no se le olvide que la cárcel fue el último lugar donde usted residió.
You understand?
¿Usted me entendió?
Dime?
Yes.
Okay.
Muy bien.
All right, thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Your Honor,
Alfredo.
the interpreter can respectfully request the case number for this last
I'm
defendant. Your Honor.
sorry, yes.
If you have one, I know these are Osceola cases. I know you don't have some of these cases for Osceola.
Yeah, we just have.
23 CF 30.
Thank
All right.
you.
I need Alfredo Mejias Sanz.
President approaching, Judge.
Are you Alfredo Mejias Sanz?
Usted es el señor Alfredo Mejía Sanz.
Señoría, sí.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I've got several matters to cover with you.
Tengo varios asuntos que tramitar con usted.
The first is a new charge of resisting arrest without violence.
El primero es un cargo de resistir arresto sin violencia.
I reviewed the paperwork and found probable cause.
Revisé la documentación y determiné que existen indicios razonables.
I'm going to appoint the public defender,
Le voy a designar las oficinas del defensor público
and I'm going to set bond at $500.
y le voy a programar la fianza en $500.
Next, I have a warrant that was issued,
Y entonces próximamente tengo un orden de arresto que fue emitida.
and this is a charge of battery as an incident of domestic violence.
Y es un cargo de agresión por violencia doméstica.
Now, I showed it as a misdemeanor one, but I saw some words to the effect it was felony. Do you know?
Veo aquí que indica algo sobre delito menor, pero también veo ciertas palabras que indican que es delito mayor.
I have a battery, an aggravated battery.
Yeah, that's later.
Okay, so yes, this first battery is charged as an M1.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just saw some felony language in there, but the number
Tengo
looked
un
like.
cargo de agresión y veo que es un delito menor, pero había visto lenguaje a lo contrario.
All right, so I'll point the PD. Let's talk about bond before we get to the other warrant.
Voy a designar a las oficinas del defensor público. Vamos a tramitar lo de la fianza antes que lleguemos al próximo cargo.
Anything that y'all need to tell me down there about his background that I should be aware of?
Algo que ustedes me tengan que decir sobre su antecedente penal que yo deba saber.
Judge, as far as his background, the defendant has other legal constraints. He has warrants for another state.
Su señoría, sobre su antecedente penal, él tiene otros retenes, tiene órdenes de arresto emitidas en otro estado.
All right, so I'm going to set the bond at $2,500.
Voy a programar la fianza en $2,500.
You're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim,
No se le permitirá trato en absoluto con la víctima.
and you're going to need to read and sign the Spanish language version of that no contact form.
Y usted necesita leer y entonces firmar la versión de prohibición de trato que está impresa en español.
You're to maintain separate residence.
Tiene que mantener una residencia separada.
You may return one time with law enforcement officer to get your belongings.
Puede regresar una sola vez acompañado de un agente del orden público para recopilar sus pertenencias personales.
Do not consume any alcohol or non-prescribed medication.
No puede consumir alcohol o medicamentos que no fuesen recetados.
Do not possess or own any weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
No puede portar o ser propietario de armas, municiones o armas blancas.
Do you understand, Mr. Mejia Sanz?
¿Usted entiende eso, señor Mejía Sanz? Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's go on to the other warrants.
Your Honor, what
Vamos
was
a dirigirnos ahora a las órdenes adicionales de arresto.
Your Honor, will you repeat the bond amount?
Yes, $2,500.
Thank you.
Sí, les repito, la fianza serán $2,500.
All right, so the other warrants on an aggravated battery on a person 65 years or older.
Y el otro cargo es una agresión agravada en una persona más allá de 65 años de edad.
And the judge set the bond at $5,000 on that count.
El juez ha programado la fianza en $5,000 en ese cargo.
And then count 2 is a simple assault.
Y el segundo cargo es una agresión simple.
And the judge set the bond on count 2 at $500.
Y el juez programó la fianza en el segundo cargo en $500.
You're to have no contact with the alleged victim.
No se le permitirá trato con la presunta víctima.
Do not return to the McDonald's in question.
No puede regresar a la tienda McDonald's donde sucedieron los eventos.
Do not possess or own any weapons or firearms.
No se le permite portar o ser propietario de armas o armas blancas.
Oh, okay. Couldn't read by. And we're going to appoint the public defender to represent you on that.
Vamos a designar las oficinas del defensor público para que los representen en ese caso.
Do you understand, sir?
¿Me entendió, caballero? Yes, Your Honor.
Great. All right, Leonardo Mendez Lugo.
And Your Honor, does the court have a case number for this last defendant?
23 CF 44,
Thank you.
and the other case number is 22 ML 2861.
Thank you.
Are you Leonardo Mendez Lugo?
¿Usted es Leonardo Méndez Lugo?
Sí.
Yes.
You're charged with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Usted lo acusan de operar un vehículo a motor sin tener licencia válida de conducir. Yes.
I found probable cause.
Determiné que existen indicios razonables.
I'm going to appoint the PD.
Voy a designar las oficinas del defensor público
I'm going to set the bond at $500.
y le voy a programar la fianza en $500.
Do not drive without a valid driver's license.
No vuelva a conducir a que no sea que tenga licencia válida de conducir.
And you don't have to answer this next question, but why haven't you bonded out yet?
No me tiene que contestar esta pregunta, pero ¿por qué es que usted no ha salido bajo fianza?
Okay.
Solamente me faltan $100.
I just have $100 left.
You don't have any family that can bond you out?
¿No tiene usted familiares que le pueden pagar la fianza?
Sí, pero en el momento de la llamada no me contestaron, era de madrugada.
Yes, but at the time that I called them, they didn't answer because it was the middle of the night.
And so, Osceola, does he have any history concerning driving without a license?
Y Osceola, ¿él tiene antecedente penal de conducir sin tener licencia?
Judge, he doesn't have any prior criminal history.
Su señoría, él no tiene antecedente penal en absoluto.
I'm going to reduce it to $250, but do not
Voy a
drive
reducir
without
la
a valid
fianza
driver's license.
a $250, pero no vuelva a conducir a que no sea que tenga licencia de conducir.
Gracias.
That's fine. That's
De
fine.
nada.
Thank you.
All right, Nicholas Perez Olivares.
And Your Honor, did you have a case?
Qualifies for pretrial release, direct pretrial release.
Great. Okay,
Good
we're going to
morning,
give you
Honor.
that case. No, we don't have a case number on the last one, sorry.
No worries, Your Honor. Just checking.
Buenos dias, Senor Perez Olivares.
Good morning.
Buenos días, señor Pérez Olivera.
All right, you're charged with possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I read the paperwork, I found probable cause.
Lo acusan de posesión de cocaína, posesión de parafernalia de drogas. He leído el documento declaratorio y determino que existen indicios razonables.
And we're going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Vamos a designar a las oficinas del defensor público para que los representen.
I understand you've been cleared to qualified for pretrial release, is that correct?
Entiendo yo que usted cumple requisitos para la libertad provisional.
Yes, Judge.
Okay,
Sí,
so
señoría.
we'll order pretrial release.
Te vamos a ordenar el programa de libertad provisional.
But do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
Pero no vaya a consumir o ingerir ninguna droga ilegal o alcohol.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Senor Jordan Perez Soto.
And Judge, Mr. Perez Soto, he's out on bond. I believe you don't have that paperwork. I have information for you.
Really? I don't have that paperwork. Hold on. Okay, are you Jordan Perez Soto?
¿Usted es Jordan Pérez Soto? Yes.
All right, you're charged with driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge.
Usted lo acusan de conducir con licencia suspendida o revocada a sabiendas.
And I found probable cause for the charge.
Determiné que existen indicios razonables para el cargo.
And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Voy a designar las oficinas del defensor público para que los represente.
So, Kissimmee, I don't have the charge he's out on bond on.
Yo no tengo el cargo por lo cual está libre bajo fianza. Judge, the defendant is out on bond for a driving license revoked for Osceola County, K22 CT 3991.
Él se encuentra libre bajo fianza en el cargo de conducir con licencia revocada en el condado de Osceola, caso 22 CT 3991.
Yes.
Given the new charge, we would ask that he be revoked on that case and go before the trial judge.
Basado en este nuevo cargo, pedimos que esa libertad sea revocada y que tenga que presentarse en frente del juez.
Anything you want to add, Ms. Anderson?
Licenciada Anderson, ¿quiere agregar usted algo?
My apologies. Defense will defer to the court's discretion.
Okay. I'm going to revoke your bond.
Vamos a diferir a su señoría. Yo le voy a revocar a usted su fianza.
So you have a bond in this case, but I'm revoking your bond in the old case.
Usted tiene una fianza en este caso, pero en el caso antiguo su fianza está revocada.
So go to the judge to see if you can get a bond.
Diríjase al juez para ver si le pueden otorgar una fianza.
I'm sorry? Okay. All right, Carlos Valentin Delgado. Are you Carlos Valentin Delgado?
Usted es el señor Carlos Valentín Delgado. Excuse me?
Carlos Valentín Delgado.
All right.
Carlos Valentín Delgado.
All right, you're here on 2 warrants.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí mediante 2 órdenes de arresto.
And it's alleged that you violated your probation.
Se alega que usted incumplió su libertad vigilada.
And they are for 2 different cases.
En 2 casos diferentes.
2019 CF 3323.
En el caso 19 CF 3323.
and 2021 CF 266.
Y en el caso 21 CF 266.
The judge has set the bond at 0.
El juez le ha indicado que no tiene derecho a fianza.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Voy a designar las oficinas del defensor público.
And Mr. Valentin Delgado, talk to your public defender about going to the judge for a bond.
Y señor Valentín Delgado, hable con su defensor público para que le ayude a dirigirse al juez para una nueva fianza.
Osceola, is there anything else I can do to help you?
No, Your Honor, I believe we're all set.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Interpreter. Thank you, everyone. We'll disconnect.
You're welcome, Your Honor. We'll be waiting for you to call back.
Yes, sir.